get better. Today, that phrase, buy a game, it still means putting in the time to get the results you want. I don't care what your job is, sports or not, what title you have, or where you work. No matter the circumstance, if you don't work, you'll have no game. Examine your game. You're going to hear these examine your game boxes like this one here throughout this audiobook. These boxes will include questions and ideas for you to think through and answer about your game, your progress, and what needs to be changed, stepped up, or eliminated. The start of work on your game. I've been spreading this work on your game message since May of 2005 when I started blogging on a site called blogspot.com. Work on your game, or WOYG, was birthed in January 2009 when I spoke these exact words on camera at the 24-hour fitness gym in Cutler Bay, Miami at 2 o'clock in the morning. We will get into all of that later, how that came to be. But first, let's get back to how and why I was receiving such profound life advice from a 14-year-old kid. Julia R. Masterman, junior and senior high, located at 17th and Spring Garden Streets in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That was my school from 5th through 8th grade. While I left Masterman after the 8th grade to go to a different high school, Brandon, who had given me that stop playing scared and buy a game advice, he continued at Masterman, where he played 4 years of varsity basketball. Now I, conversely, would be attending George Washington Carver High School of Engineering and Science, better known as ENS in Philadelphia, where I didn't really know what I would do as far as basketball went. But I was bragging to everybody who will listen that I was going to make the varsity at ENS as a freshman. Now, before going our separate ways from middle school, Brandon graciously pointed out to me some of my playing deficiencies in basketball. He knew my abilities from the lunchtime pickup games on Masterman's rooftop playground we played every day at lunch, and he could tell that I always played as if I was nervous or scared. And you know what? Brandon was right. I was both nervous and scared, mostly because I had no game. I was nervous about messing up and letting my much better teammates down in the heat of the moment, which I ended up doing anyway. I was nervous about having the ball and not knowing what to do with it, and that happened too many times to count. And I was afraid of shooting an air ball or missing a layup in front of all the girls who were watching, which is exactly what happened. Brandon explained to me that if I was going to become a competent basketball player, I had to play the game fearlessly. I couldn't hesitate or be worried about messing up. In order to erase that fear, what I needed to do was hone my skills, which would naturally expand my confidence. Now, at age 14, I couldn't dribble a basketball very well, and I was an unreliable outside shooter. I had only a loose understanding of the concept of defense. I didn't like being thrown these hard bullet passes because I couldn't catch. I had the desire to be a useful player. I just didn't have the ability. I had no skills. And at age 14, I didn't know that skills, quote unquote, went further than dribbling, passing, and shooting. Skills also included confidence, discipline, mental toughness, and personal initiative. Examine your game. When is the last time you took voluntary action to get better at your job? My challenge as a teenager, knowing that I lacked game, was figuring out exactly how I could improve my game. What were the specific actions that I needed to take? I knew that my current skill level wasn't enough to be taken seriously as a basketball player, and I knew that my mental game, playing tentatively, being indecisive, and generally lacking confidence, I knew that needed improvement. I had to figure out all the steps to close the gap between where I was and where I wanted to be. Now, it's been more than 20 years since that infamous bus ride, and I've come to learn that Brandon's advice was absolutely right. Skills plus mental game equals success. Working on my own game. Following Brandon's advice, I felt I had bought a healthy amount of game by the time I got to 11th grade in high school, but I was cut from my high school's varsity basketball team again on the first day of tryouts. Again. By this point, I knew I had the skills. The missing piece, though, was getting my mental game in the right space. And at that time, I did not have the confidence to display all of my abilities under the pressure of the moment. I developed just enough confidence to finally make the team as a senior, where I sat the bench the whole season. As a college player, my poor practice habits got me kicked off my college's basketball team as a junior.